Здравствуйте, уважаемые.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I would like to express my very deep feeling of gratitude to the organizers of this very interesting meeting and the possibility to participate in it. I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher of history in Dostar school, and during our history classes, I would like to tell you about the topics and materials and the sections that can be used. These are very nice resources of UNESCO that are available on UNESCO's site, which we find also in ICH lists and World Heritage lists. And if I may, I would like to talk not only about ICH, but I would like also to talk a little bit about the global heritage. The initial topics that we are introducing in the 5th grade on the history of Kazakhstan and the global history, world history, is related to culture. And you can go through the screen and you will see all the topics on the history of Kazakhstan. Here is the world history, which is not surprising. For example, if you take the industrial revolution can be found and we can refer to very interesting UNESCO resources. And in the 5th grade, we are also familiarizing our teachers with the list of global cultural heritage of UNESCO. And of course, we are talking here about our Tamgali. Tamgali is the first ICH object from Kazakhstan, which was inscribed in the World Heritage List. And we are familiarizing the students of the 5th grade on the World Heritage List of UNESCO, on the site of UNESCO, and the way it looks like. And of course, I'm using the materials which are available on the page of Tamgali site. And we give an opportunity to our students to teach to learn more about the illustrations, because very often, of course, they can learn about it because it's not a part of our current environment, but nevertheless, they can learn about the dyes, about the materials. And then I'm providing an opportunity to my students to play the role of the artists, and they are actually painting the paintings in Tamgali style. And also there is a video which is available on the same site. We have been watching without sound this video, and then using the material available in our textbooks, we wanted to sound this video. And also we took a look at various elements of ICH that are represented by our country. Therefore, it is just the introductory step, which is going to follow up in the next grade. In the 6th grade, there is a very interesting topic which is dedicated to the Silk Road, and we are conducting several very interesting projects. For example, one of the projects is called select the goods for the trade caravan from Taras to Tashkent, and the second group was picking up the goods following on their route from Tashkent to Taraz. And they were putting together a map, and for this they had to use the list of the world heritage as well as ICH list. And we decided that we are going to advertise our goods. This is the reason for which our students were working very actively with both lists. And here you see the elements of ICH from Central Asian countries with which our students were familiarizing themselves. And here is the UNESCO site and the map on which we were putting together routes through the ancient cities of Kazakhstan, which are sitting on the Silk Road. And we were representing such cities as Karamergen, Talgar, Aktabe, Kardas. And therefore, the children not only were reading something from the textbook, but they were learning a lot more in their practice about the Great Silk Road. In addition, the mausoleum of Hoja Ahmed Yasavi is a sacred site for all the nations of the Central Asian, and we have the materials in the 6th grade and in the 7th grade. And we try to learn more about this historic monument, and we were reading through the materials of UNESCO, and the students had to watch the materials available on the UNESCO site, and then the clean board task was implemented by the children when, for example, we put various numbers, and then the uh, students were selecting a number, and they were telling based on the video that they were watching beforehand. They were telling about various historic monuments. And here, for example, they had to provide an answer of why this mausoleum is included into the World Heritage List of UNESCO. I think that it is very important for the students not only to learn about the availability of various World Heritage sites, but also to understand why they are so important today and why we have to know about them and what they give us to the new generations, to the young generations. This is the reason for which we are trying to summarize everything and to create a link with the current life and try to understand how it can functionally help us. In the 10th grade, there is a big section which is called the moral and moral values of the modern society. And we were scrutinizing the World Heritage List and ICH list of UNESCO. And then in the groups, we put together kind of symbolic small presentations which were dedicated to the symbols of cultural unity of the peoples of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. And the children had an algorithm of their work. They could do it as a presentation or a live project. We did it last year when we had all our classes online, but it was done very well.
So as part of this project, we also tried to do the video contest. Well, the time is unfortunately limited. It was called Use for the Youth. We basically made this setting that in a simple language, but interesting language, understandable for the youth, our students wanted to show some of the important ICH elements for just to be able to motivate some interest. We have the school television, and those videos were played back for a few weeks in different classes. So this year we're going to have the second video contest. So these guys, they got really interested and they're already doing some work right now. Speaking about the global history, well, there is a huge list of possibilities starting from grade 5. For instance, we did the historical auction, the UNESCO World Heritage List, the history of the ancient world. The students would get these pictures and they had to use the UNESCO website to define what are the World Heritage sites shown here. And now we're going to work not just with the sites, but we're also going to be adding some more interesting ICH elements. In grade 5, the promotion of ICH, this was the culture of ancient India. So basically, uh, I produced several puzzles like question, what kind of bottles was the greatest in India, pranayama? Well, basically, this was part of the India's ICH. So the students would find some interesting information, respond to these puzzles, and well, basically, this is the victory board. So it was really amazing and really involving. This was some piece of work on Egypt. Do you believe that? That was the question. The students would receive such posters, and on those posters there would be old cultural heritage sites from ancient Egypt. So the students had to find some information, respond to the questions, and give it to their mates. So basically, they really enjoyed this piece of work, and we also added a brainstorm. We used this particular page where all of this uh, cultural sites of Egypt are listed. And by looking at them and by studying some materials, we also try to propose some other cultural heritage sites which are not made official yet, but might potentially become part of that list. So the students could show their analytical skills by trying to explain why this or that other facility has not yet been included. These are the cities of the world. This is grade 5. So this looks like a game. The cities of the ancient world, the whole cities that were also included as part of the World Heritage List in the form of a puzzle. Students would guess these puzzles and they would also provide some information, telling some interesting facts about those ancient cities. This is grade 7, the more serious stuff, the board of knowledge that is called. Well, basically, they show some illustrations. Illustrations that feature World Heritage sites from various countries in the East. So the students had to define what country that would be coming from and explain why. What was the reasoning or value for the inclusion of these sites into the World Heritage List? So basically, this looks like the PDF format. Then we'll print it out, all of this stuff. In the extracurricular fashion, we had the group quests called Treasures of the World. Again, as you can see here, you can see some of the architectural sites. And this is the page we started with. The questions were school-wide. Well, they were hidden in the school building all across the school, everywhere in the school building, in different classes. The kids would find those hidden questions, respond to these hidden questions. These are some of the pictures, students finding questions, finding answers, and here they're shooting a video. So they had not just to speak as a quest participant, those who search and find information, they also had to present this information and feel like a journalist. Some interesting information, Industrial Revolution in England, grade 8. The topic seems to be far away from the World Heritage, far from World Heritage list, but basically we're talking about the key reasons behind this Industrial Revolution. Turns out that the first still-made bridge in the world, the first blast furnaces and steel mills, where they all now became part of the World Heritage List. So specifically, we're working based on this material. The topic of culture, grade 9, culture and science, the first half of the 20th century. Here we used not just the information about some of the heritage sites, but also tried to find some information about the elements of ICH. So as you can see, we would gladly invite some of the carriers, but in these conditions of pandemics, it's really hard, next to impossible. So I will tell you about the idea for this year. We'll try to make it happen. Culture and science in the first half of the 20th century, also grade 9, the continuation of this previous project, coming up with a list of the 5 key achievements in different areas based on the UNESCO listings, not just cultural and heritage sites, but also technical achievements, historical facilities, and make a video as a presentation. Grade 10, we have this topic, UNESCO and World Cultural Heritage. So basically, for about 5 classes, what we've done, we actively study the information about the World Heritage and intangible cultural heritage, ICH. This is again one of the topics of ICH. We analyzed the information, showed graphically, dynamically, because this is already grade 10. So basically, we came up with the lists of the World Cultural Heritage sites, tried to understand which country has the most of these facilities, why, what are the reasons behind this. Also, one more interesting point, we just came up with this recently, just at the beginning of the school year. As one of the ICH elements, Mediterranean diet, as one of those. I included this element in this topic, life in the Middle Ages in the rural areas or urban areas. So basically in a class, we tried to serve a table of an ancient human living in the Middle Ages. What kind of foodstuffs could possibly be available on their table? And basically, we tried to connect this to the reality. How can these foods now help us avoid any illnesses, pandemics, and be to stay healthy? So we came up with the list of foodstuffs which we still use up till now on our table, regardless of the fact that it's called Mediterranean diet. Even here in Kazakhstan, it's also being actively practiced. So these are some of the foods that are being served today, the modern human's diet. So on this good note, I'd like to finish with this sort of table picture, also as part of our future plans. Right now, we are also preparing the second video contest. This is gonna be in the closer to the end of the year. Also, would like to have another tournament amongst grade 9. One of the elements of ICH is this Kazakh national game, Secure. This is not going to be just a tournament. We will have it for some a bunch of interesting meetings, study the rules, and then so we'll have some practical games. Also, by the end of the year, hopefully it works out. I'll have this interactive panorama called Live Heritage. Today I heard from the previous speakers, and it was really interesting to learn more. And what you came up, we actually almost hit your target because we'd like to invite some of the ICH carriers and organize some of the activities with these people, Life Heritage Panorama, to enable kids not just to see it, but also try to do something with their own hands. Of course, we're limited by the terms of the school curriculum, extracurriculum activities, well, but in the class settings, well, you can spend a little time, you can spend a few minutes. So gradually, in a step-by-step fashion, we'll do this, and it's going to be interesting for kids. But what's most important, why do we need all of this? Why do we need to care? Children must understand what's the importance of these achievements, this um, ICH, intangible and tangible heritage, why we need this in order to be able to form global citizens, in order to have some tolerance, sympathy. This is a multi ethnic state, so we really need this. Thank you. I'm done.